was easy at first, but I had no idea what I was getting into. Perhaps if I had, I wouldn't have done it. She was a bit forgetful and absent-minded, and she couldn't really cope with running the house. Nothing too serious, but she had to move. I'd always promised myself that she wouldn't have to go into a home. I could look after her. Since James and I got divorced, I've lived on my own, so it seemed the obvious thing to do. So I persuaded her to come and live with me. I said it would be just for a while, but I knew she wouldn't be able to manage on her own anymore. I thought it might be quite fun. You know, Mum and me together again. Fun. Almost from the day she moved in, she degenerated. Her whole facade of coping just crumbled away. She became like a child. It was as if I had become her mother. I think it took me a long time to realise that this wasn't just a phase, that she wasn't just somehow going to get better. She started wandering, so I had to lock her in her room at night. Imagine, my own mother locked in her bedroom. At first, friends were very supportive. Now we never see them. You see, it became impossible to have them round. Now I'm too tired in any case. If we were having a meal, she'd interrupt all the time and make stupid comments, or ask the same question over and over and over again, or ask people she'd known forever who they were. At first they'd find it, well, pretend to find it amusing. Usually it was just plain embarrassing. I think some of them were terrified that they might go the same way. The sad truth is, some of them will. When it started, I had no idea I'd have to sacrifice absolutely everything. Suddenly it was all up to me. Just me. I felt so lonely. What I find so upsetting is that now she can't remember most of what happened to us as a family. You know, where we lived, Dad's name. I don't think she knows who I am a lot of the time. One moment she'll remember something, and then the next is as if none of it ever happened. I haven't had a break since she came to live here, if you can call it living. I've had to give up work. She can't be left alone at all anymore. So now I can't even go out for 10 minutes, let alone an hour or two, not unless I get someone to sit with her. She can be violent too. Fight and scream when I move her, or try and lift her into the bath. Sometimes she understands something I say, and my hopes will soar because I've got through to her. Then after a few seconds, it's gone again. But she's not mad, you know. It might sound like it, and to look at her you might think so, but it's more as if her mind was erasing itself. Peter, he's my brother. He's hopeless. He said he'll do all sorts of things, but when it comes down to it, he's always too busy. She loves Peter. She always makes a big effort for him. And when I'm at my wit's end and I call him, he says he'll try and do something next week. There's me and her stuck here hour after hour, and he swans in and out without a care in the world. He has no idea what's really going on here. Then again, I think he'd rather not know. Involvement means responsibility, and he'd rather leave that to me. Women's work and all that. So now I don't even ask him. I just lie when he calls. I say, everything's fine. Nothing can prepare you for all this. There's no map or anyone to show you the way, if only there was. You just do it and learn as you go. And there's no way of knowing when it's going to end. Instead of getting easier, it just gets harder and harder. Frankly, I just want someone to be there who understands, or I just want to be left alone to get on with it. Watching her dignity go is the worst. She's doubly incontinent now, and that's something that's impossible to get used to. When I put pads on her, she takes them off, however many times I tell her not to. So on top of everything else I have to do, I'm constantly clearing up this disgusting, stinking filth that gets all over the house. She doesn't know she's doing it. And when I find her with it all over her feet, she denies it and says it's someone else. Clearing it and her up always makes me wretch. And I look at myself and I say, is this it? Is this my life? Sometimes I just sit here and cry. I cry for the horror of what's happening to her. What's happening to me. Maybe I'm not good enough for this job. Maybe she should go into a home. But I went to look at one and I couldn't put her in there. She'd hate it. I'd never forgive myself. They don't know her. They don't love her. I couldn't trust anyone else to look after her, not the way I do. Not when she still needs me so much. How can I feel sorry for myself when she's so ill? She can't help it. I've changed. I get so frustrated and angry. I've turned into someone I don't even like. I shout at her. I want to shake the living daylights out of her. I can hardly control myself. I still love her. Her face, her smile, her voice. Yet at the same time, she's not my mother. She's like a stranger who lives inside the body of someone I've loved all my life. Every morning I go into her room and I feel this sense of fear, hope. Perhaps she has gone peacefully in the night. And then I go over and I see her bewildered eyes and I think, here goes another day. Yes, I do want her to die. But at the same time, I can't bear to lose her. Everyone always thinks it's all about her. She's the patient, but what about me? My life's slipping away. I want it back. I want to do normal things like shopping or going to work or staying with friends. Just for one moment, not to have to worry about anyone. I want to do the things that everyone else takes for granted. I want a good night's sleep. You know what I think? I think, why her? Why me? It's not fair. It's not bloody fair. I just want to blame someone. I want someone to be there, but there's no one. Oh well. What's the point of talking? It's time to make her tea.